Hi, everyone. Happy Monday, and welcome to the Northern Kentucky Spotlight Podcast, powered by C. Crew Consulting. I'm your host, Sarah Brookbank. Today on the podcast, we are joined by Tia Edwards, owner of Fresh Bourbon Distillery, and our keynote speaker for the 2025 Women's Initiative Annual Breakfast, powered by PNC. She and I chat about her keynote address and what attendees can expect at annual breakfast this year. We are also joined by Mayor Charlie Cleves and Melissa Morandi of the City of Bellevue. They highlight our Bridging Back Business initiative that launches this week. Thank you to our podcast sponsors, C. Crew Consulting and Schneller Knockelman. There's still time to secure your seat at our Workforce Best Practices Symposium happening on Wednesday, March 12th. At this year's symposium, we're adapting and thriving, with speakers focused on innovative strategies being used by local employers to hire, retain, and develop talent. Our roundtable discussions this year are centered on improving job quality, strengthening workplace culture, and enhancing talent development. You can register now at nkychamber.com/events. Now let's go hear from our sponsors, meet our members of the week, and I'll be back with this week's guests.
Ranking on Google Search and Maps is easy to understand, but hard to do. It requires constant effort and attention, uploading new photos, responding to Google reviews, writing weekly posts, and checking suggested updates. Google listing optimization takes experience and time, and there are no shortcuts. C. Crew gives your Google My Business account the steady, consistent attention it needs to be effective, optimizing, updating, and expanding critical content every single week. From local retail stores to large regional networks, C. Crew generates content, establishes benchmarks, and creates dramatic, measurable increases in engagement. So what can C. Crew do for your business? More calls, more clicks, more clients.
Congratulations to our members of the week. You can learn more about these businesses by following the Northern Kentucky Chamber on social media, where we will highlight one of these businesses each day. Now, let's meet our members of the week. Outwork Personnel is a family-owned and operated staffing firm, pairing great candidates with great companies. BAWAC believes everyone deserves a chance to maximize their potential and achieve their goals, and supports those facing barriers to employment. Security National Mortgage offers mortgage financing the way you want it. Thrive Empowerment Center offers practical female-led, trauma-informed self-defense education and therapeutic programming. Since 1967, First Choice has delivered premier office coffee and water service, building on the international expertise of their parent company, Dios. Hi, everyone. I am joined by Tia Edwards today on the podcast. She is our keynote speaker for the upcoming Women's Initiative Annual Breakfast. Tia, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
Yes, we are so excited to have you up here in Northern Kentucky on March 4th for Annual Breakfast. It's one of my favorite events, and you are our keynote speaker. So tell us a little bit about how you got involved with the Women's Initiative and what you're going to talk with us about on March 4th.
Yeah, so I love what the Women's Initiative does for the community. And I'm involved in the chamber here in Lexington. And so I was very excited when they reached out to me to interview to be the keynote. So I'm looking forward to sharing my experiences and, just a fresh perspective on what I've experienced in opening a distillery in Kentucky.
Yes, and our theme this year is the craft of empowerment, fresh perspectives for success. I love this theme. Obviously, we're looking forward into this new year. March is still pretty early in the year.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the fresh perspectives that you've gained as you've opened this distillery.
Absolutely. So, it's new territory for my husband and I in the distillery world. We've drank bourbon. We've always been around it, our family and celebrations. We went on bourbon tours as a couple, but to actually open a distillery has definitely involved a fresh perspective because there's so much that you do not know happens in the industry when you're just a consumer. And so learning ways to affect the industry and bringing a fresh perspective to the industry has been very welcome by consumers, which we have been super excited about. So I'm so excited to share that experience and what I've learned always roses, right? There are some challenges that you have to endure when you're opening a business, especially in the bourbon industry. It's a $9 billion industry. So it's a pretty large industry. Most of the 95% of the world's bourbon is made right here in Kentucky. And so to be a part of that industry is amazing, but to bring a fresh perspective on our flavor profile and our experience that we offer at our distillery has just been an amazing experience. And so I'm so excited to share that.
Yes, I am so looking forward to it. And so for people that don't know, your bourbon distillery is called Fresh Bourbon Distillery. That's where we're getting that fresh perspective.
Yes.
John. So, and you guys are located down in Lexington. Tell our viewers and listeners about your distillery. Give us an overview.
Yeah, so we actually created and distilled our own recipe from grain to glass. So we didn't source. It is a brand new 4-grain recipe that we created. It has corn, honey malt, malted wheat, and malted rye. Most people are like, okay, what does that recipe mean? It means it's good. It is a very good 4-grain recipe. We won 2 gold medals on our product. And we recently opened our distillery right downtown Lexington. So we are on the Kentucky Bourbon Trail now. As part of our experience, you get to create your own cocktail. Another fresh perspective in the bourbon industry. So I'm very excited about that. So we always tell people, come and experience fresh because it is a fresh approach to an amazing industry in Kentucky.
Yeah, that is so exciting, especially you guys are located so close to us. Lexington is not a far. Many of our friends and members make that trip often. When we're circling back to this annual breakfast event, what do you hope attendees are going to take away from this event?
I'm hoping that attendees understand that it's okay to be different and to be confident in whatever dream that they have, that if it's something that you want to do, then you can push forward to succeed it. So I just don't want people to not believe in themselves, really want to encourage them that they can believe in themselves. And also, it's okay to take advice. We're always in a position to learn. So never think that you cannot learn. So there's so much that I want to share, and I'm looking forward to sharing my experiences to help to encourage someone else that they can do the same thing or even better.
Yeah. And you mentioned that you're looking forward to sharing those perspectives and that advice to our members. What else are you looking forward to? Is there anything else you're excited about for our annual breakfast?
More than anything, I'm excited to meet the amazing women that are part of this organization.
Tia, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today. Before I let you go, is there anything else that you would like to share with our viewers and listeners about you, about your keynote, or about your business?
Yeah, I would say that I am not only a business owner and I'm a wife, but I'm also a mother. So, never think that you cannot start a business and have a family. So I just always like to share that. It's not easy, but it's definitely worth the work.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, Tia, thank you so much for joining us. I look forward to your keynote address here in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you. So looking forward to meeting you all in person.
Hi, everyone. Today on the podcast, I am joined by our friends from the City of Bellevue. I am joined by Mayor Charlie Cleves and Melissa Morandi. You are the head of marketing and communications. Thank you both for coming on the podcast today.
Yeah, thanks for having us here.
Yes, it is an exciting one. We used to talk about something fun today. We are talking about Bridging Back Business. This is a new initiative launched by Bellevue and a number of our other cities here locally to support local businesses. That's kind of the theme of the year. So jump right in. Tell us about this new initiative.
Okay, this new initiative came about because I noticed back in November that a lot of the businesses were starting to do bad. Things closed November 1st. By the middle of November, I was seeing Buckhead was empty at lunchtime, and I was seeing the Party Sources lot from 4 to 6 p.m. You could pull all the way up to the front door almost. And I'm like, this is unreal. I don't know what to do about it, but hopefully it'll quit, and they'll do it. So by the middle of December, it hadn't changed at all. I mean, it was the same thing. It just kept continuing on and on. And so I called Melissa up and I said, we got to do something about this. We got to come up with a program. We might have to wait till the bridge opens back up, but we got to get those people back over here. Mm-hmm. And so we started thinking hard about it. And I started talking to a few people. So by the second week of January, I talked to the mayor of Newport and I talked to the mayor of Covington, and I told them that we were going to be doing something, and it was what we call Bridging Back Business. Melissa gave it the name. She came up with the name, and they liked the idea. So I contacted Melissa contacted the marketing people, Pat Frew and Bev Holiday, and they made appointments with us. And we thought, well, let's Meet Northern Kentucky. Let's call Julie Kirkpatrick, and then let's get Brent involved in it. And so we called Julie up, and she said, well, what are you two doing tomorrow? And I said, well, I don't know. What do you need us to? They said, well, we're all meeting at Globe over in Covington. We've got a bunch of business leaders and coming over here with me and Brent. We're trying to figure out what to do about this. And from what you just told me, you guys have already got a plan. So could you come over here? And we said, yes. So we went there. We presented our plan to them, and they asked questions and said everything about it. And we left it at that, and they said they'd get back to us. Well, the next day they called and they said they want to make our plan the plan. And so that was good to hear.
Yeah.
So we had already asked a couple cities, and then they added in, like Fort Thomas was part of their business group. They added that in, and we added Dayton in. Since they're our sister city, we do a lot of stuff with them. So we wanted them in it. If we weren't going to just keep it like 3 river cities, we for sure wanted Dayton. So.
Yeah, definitely spreading the love. And this really follows right after we just did that Dine NKY initiative. I know Bellevue was involved with that. Really finding new, innovative, new exciting ways to support businesses. Like you said, that bridge closure has really impacted a lot of businesses across Northern Kentucky. But we know that's not the only thing that's impacting these businesses. What other things are you guys seeing? Obviously, this kind of predates the bridge closure, but is really linked up in that. What other things do you guys think are really impacting businesses right now?
Well, that's another good question for me, because I've been in Bellevue my whole life. I've been in business my whole life. For the last 6 years as mayor. Before that, I owned a jewelry store. So I see what everything was like, the cycles. And the cycles in Bellevue are January and February are dead. And it's been that way ever since I've been in Bellevue. And it's because, number one, it's cold. Number two, everybody spent all their money for New Year's and Christmas and all these other things coming up to there. And it just goes downhill at that point, just for natural reasons. Now, this year, there was another thing. Beside the natural down cycle, we had the bad weather. So right after Christmas, we get whacked with that 7-8 days when nobody wanted to go out. We had more snow than we've had since 1978. And so that was a big hurt too. So all those things together, that triple punch, and it just killed people.
Yeah. And that's a huge impact. And so this Bridging Back Business, it's a really fun initiative. And Melissa, it sounds like kind of a little bit of your idea. Tell us why you came up with this and how you think this is going to help support businesses.
Well, we could just see all the businesses, how much they were hurting after the holidays and the bridge combined. And Charlie dines out a lot. So he started telling me, the parking lot at Buckhead is empty. There's no Ohio plates here. We have to do something. So when I hear the urgency in Charlie's voice, like we have to do something, we have to do something. So we just kind of put our thinking caps on and brainstormed, and Bridging Back was born.
Yeah, and I love that. And one of the things, community support is obviously vital to these businesses. They are the fabric of our community. We talk about that a lot. And as a former business owner, as somebody who works in one of our smaller cities here in the region, when you're talking about the impact of community support, what do you think is the biggest factor in that?
I think Bellevue has so many different kinds of small businesses, and it attracts people to move to Bellevue, to want to live there, to want to come and play there. So if you don't support these mom and pop shops, we won't have any attractions in Bellevue, and people will stop coming to want to live there and come out and play and eat and shop. So it's really important that we support these small local owned businesses so that they're there for generations to come.
And one of the newest ones, which is the Breadsmith, it took the two of us 2 years to get them to move to Bellevue. And now we got a bakery right next to the jewelry store. So it's in a perfect location. And, it took so long to get them. We would hate to lose them because people don't go out and buy anything for a few months right after they go in business. And it's something we really needed. We finally have. And so we don't want to lose any of these stores. So that's why we got to keep them all up through the bad times, because we know that after February, it's going to get better.
Yeah, spring starts to come
Yes.
in, things start to warm up. It's a lot easier to walk around those
Yeah.
downtown areas. I know I pretty much grew up on the Avenue, so it's one of those things that there are so many different areas in these cities that are really putting this effort on. There are so many different ways you can support these small businesses. You can go out and shop, you can go out and eat and drink, and that's one of the things that Bridging Back Business is doing. Each city is going to have different specials and different things pop up from now through part of March. So tell us a little bit about what you guys are planning on doing in Bellevue.
Well, we're going to start off the very first day by having $10 lunches. So we've talked to several of the businesses already, especially the bigger ones, and they've agreed that they would, even if their lunches are like $17, $18, we're going to have them as $10. So that's one way to get a lot of people back over. And it'll get them into all the little ones too, because it's really cool to know that you can come back over here, get your lunch in your hours time you're off, in your lunch hours still, and get back over there, because the trip once more is 5 minutes again.
Mm-hmm.
It was 35 minutes when the bridge was down, because everybody was in line to get across the few remaining bridges. And so that in itself will get all the little restaurants going. Next after that, we have the businesses. So we have different things for the businesses, specials. That's what you were working on, a lot of talking to the businesses.
Yeah. So the retail businesses will come up with a special on Wednesday, and Thursday we will focus on the bars. We're having a New Riff cocktail contest. And Friday we are doing mocktails and cocktails with Molly Wellman. And we're inviting all the businesses, even the shops, to enter a mocktail contest. And Molly has agreed to walk around and judge the mocktails. She'll also be bartending at Buckhead that day from 4 to 6. And Saturday, we thought we want to bring back everyone who hasn't been here in a while. So we're doing Bridging Back Fun for Everyone, which will be a family-friendly day. So we'll have activities for kids on the Avenue, and hopefully the businesses will do some family-friendly specials.
Yeah, that's so exciting. And then the best part about this is, so Bellevue gets a little bit of attention this first week, and then it moves throughout Northern Kentucky.
Right. Bellevue, Dayton the first week.
Yes, Bellevue, Dayton. Excuse me, cannot forget our friends over in Dayton. So it's really fun that you guys are doing this. And you mentioned the cocktail competition with Molly Wellman. Can you guys tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, the New Riff, we saw that, they got hurt just like everybody else. There's less people coming. A lot of the liquor sales go to Ohio people, because we're always cheaper over here by a couple of dollars over the state setting the prices over in Ohio. But with everything down, they were losing too. So we wanted to do something for New Riff. They're almost in Bellevue. They missed it by this
Just
much.
like a hair.
Yeah, they're right in Newport, right on the line. Their parking lot's in Bellevue.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to have something, and I mentioned, we called them up. They had us come over and meet with them, and we said, we would like you guys to have an event where you just judge it for us, and we'll tell people they got to make cocktails out of your products or whatever you want to set up, and then you guys can judge it, and you'll pick a winner from each city. And when we went over to their place, we told them this ahead of time. They said, well, they took it to a level we never even dreamed of. They said, well, here's what we'll do. We'll call, you give us the names of the bars that have the liquor licenses in Bellevue. We will make a visit. Our marketing team's going to make a visit to them. We're going to give them a free fifth of the rye. We've got 3 different kinds. We want the cocktail contest to be with our rye. Mm-hmm. And we will give everybody that enters the contest in Bellevue and Dayton and Covington and Newport and Fort Thomas a fifth of the product that they choose, one of the 3. They will make the drinks, and they will be around. New Riff will send judges around to judge them, or to look at them and see them. And then they will have some kind of judging by people. How is that going to work?
I think they're going to let the customers decide who the winner is. So they'll have a QR code, and the customers can choose which bar they like the best. So, and one winner from each city will advance to the final
which
cocktail
is the
showdown.
3rd week, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they will have a contest at the Aquifer to decide who is the king or queen of the cocktail.
Yes,
contest.
and just in case you got to that contest, because there was so few people in Bellevue or something, they want to pick the person that really is the top bartender. And how they're doing it, they're going to take a mystery ingredient, and they're going to give you a mystery ingredient plus one of their ryes that you pick, and you got to make the cocktail in front of them using the mystery ingredient.
I absolutely
that comes from
love that. I love chops. I've been watching chops like my whole life. It's so exciting. And I love this effort, and I really love the Dine NKY effort too. It really shows that our community wants to support our community, and I think that's one of the key greatest things about living in Northern Kentucky. Like you guys said, it's really great that New Riff got in on this and they've taken it above and beyond what you guys expected.
Yeah.
And I know there are a lot of different ways that people can stay tuned about this effort, following different social media pages. I know we'll be sharing a lot of that information on the chamber pages too. But is there anything else about this Bridging Back Business campaign that you guys really think that our listeners and viewers need to hear?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, one thing about it, it started off in Bellevue, and it just kept, the more people we got from Meet Northern Kentucky and Scooter Media and the Chamber and the mayors, and everybody kept throwing a little feedback in it. And soon, so it went from 1 week to 5 weeks to 3 weeks, because we were avoiding the res, we were avoiding March Madness, all kind of stuff I don't think about, but like everybody else does, that's in these businesses. And so it just kept improving and improving and improving. And that was just the icing on the cake when New Riff came up at the very last minute. They just came up a few days ago with making their thing and taking it to the extreme. So it couldn't have happened without everybody working together. That's the key. Everybody working together, and we came up with one heck of a good plan.
Yeah, I am personally very excited. Melissa, anything else to add?
Yeah, no, it is just really awesome to see what we can all achieve when we work together. It's blown our minds, the support and how everybody is quickly working towards the same goal.
We forgot the Lego bridge making contest.
Oh, the Lego bridge
So
making
we
contest.
started that, announced it a week ago or so. And the kids can make a bridge out of Legos, but it has to be strictly out of Legos. You can't take paper and wood and put all kind of stuff together, throw a few Legos on it. You got to make it all the way out of Legos. We're having a contest, and we're judging those, and they will be distributed around Bellevue on the third week to the different stores to show people. And we got good prizes for that. We got a $100 certificate to go to the Lego store in Newport on the Levee. A sterling silver bridge charm bracelet with a sterling silver charm from the jewelry store from Cleves, and then Snyder's gave us a $25 gift certificate for third place. And so we're thinking the other cities, Dayton's in it with Bellevue, but I think the other cities are going to do it too, Covington, Newport, Fort Thomas. So that's just another cool feature that gets kids involved.
Yeah, it's getting the whole community involved.
Right, we want everybody involved in to be in this plan.
That's a feature for our Bridging Back Fun to Everyone Day.
Yeah.
Okay,
so.
Very nice. I love that you guys have thought about everything and worked with so many different organizations to make this really fun for everyone. And before I let you go, so much is happening in Bellevue, not just this. You guys are always in the news, I feel like, doing such great things. It's a really booming city. Tell us what's on the future cast for you guys in 2025.
Well, we're getting really excited about our farmers market that we have. We do that once a month on the third Sunday from July through September. So it's just really fun. We do it down in the beautiful beach park. You can walk around. We have live music, activities for the kids, vendors. So that's one of our really big things that we're looking forward to.
Also, for the summer, when that comes around, we had the bucket list last year, and we're going to improve on that this year. And what it was a whole series of events that one of them was putting everybody for a lunch with the police. One of them was putting everybody for lunch with the fire department, everybody with the public works, everybody with fun. It was a free lunch for families. And also it had a lot of stuff had components where you do exercise. So we have this big path around the Bellevue Beach Park, and it's concrete. So we use chalk, and we had some hopscotch, some skip on the right foot, skip on the left foot, walk backwards. We went around the whole area with this stuff. And then we had a video that she made up, one of these reels of my grandson doing this thing, and she speeds it up. And then we gave out this list. We gave out a piece of chalk to each person, one of the big fat pieces of chalk. and we gave them a diagram to put on their front sidewalks. And these people drew these all over Bellevue, and it was to see if their neighbors would do it, because part of it was hopscotch where you do that, and people were doing it. So.
Yeah, the ring cameras all around the city just popping up with some great footage.
Anytime we can get the kids off of their screens and exercising or creating something is always a plus for us. And we are going to add in activities for teens and tweens and senior citizens this year, so will be extra fun.
Yeah, this will be our first year we're going to target senior citizens for some exercise, walking things. Yeah. I don't know if we could get them skip and stuff.
You'll do your best.
Yeah.
Well, Melissa, Miracles, it has been such a pleasure to have you guys on. Yeah. I just want to say thank you for working on the Bridging Back Business initiative with us. We're really looking forward to it, and thank you guys for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
This is fun for us. So.
Yeah.
Yes. Thanks.
Chris Knockelman with Schneller Knockelman Plumbing, Heating, and Air. It's spring now, but before you know it, our ACs are working overtime.
Dave, it's going to be warm soon.
Right now is a good time to get the AC serviced, right?
You can get your AC tuned up for only $59.
So get your $59 tune-up at
skpha.com. skpha. So if your plumbing and mechanical systems give you trouble, just remember our name, Schneller Knockelman.
Housing is a regional priority. Having an ample supply of homes is fundamental for the Northern Kentucky region to meet basic economic needs and enable regional growth. Learn more about income-aligned housing, the region's housing needs, and why it is essential to ensure Northern Kentucky continues to be a great place to live, work, play, learn, and give back at bit.ly/NKY Housing Study.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about the Women's Initiative Annual Breakfast and the Bridging Back Business campaign today on the podcast. That Bridging Back Business campaign kicks off today in Bellevue and Dayton, so be sure to check out their social media pages to get the scoop on how you can get involved. The Bridging Back Business campaign will continue in Newport, Covington, and Fort Thomas during the week of March 3rd. All of the cities will offer specials and events for the final week of March 10th, with the Bridging Northern Kentucky Cocktail Contest happening on March 16th at the New Riff Aquifer Bar. Be sure to check out all of their social media pages or the Northern Kentucky Chamber's social media pages to get updates on events and specials happening during this campaign. Thank you once again to our podcast sponsors, Sea Crew Consulting and Schneller Knockelman. Finally, if you are a member who would like to be featured on the podcast, or if you're someone who is interested in joining the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, please reach out to Lynn Ablin. And if you're a member who would like to share your workforce strategies and resources on our Talent Strategy Spotlight, please reach out to Nancy Spivey. You can find their contact information on the screen in front of you or at our staff directory at nkychamber.com. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll talk to you guys next week.